Welcome back, Shalligators. Today we're going to talk about a celeb that I don't think we've ever actually covered on here, Chris Pratt. I know, right? Like, we kind of forget about him, and then he pops up making like $35 million in some action movie that we now have to have 55 sequels of. Anyway, we're not talking about his career. We're talking about his relationship with his wife, Katherine Schwarzenegger. And not just his relationship IRL, the dynamics. We're talking about how it's being displayed on Instagram. Now, you know, we all go to Daily Mail every day and we like read through articles and it's like backlash over this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and you know how like we're all just so at our saturation point with like cancel culture. The article today about Chris Pratt said that there's been a lot of backlash about this birthday tribute he posted to his wife, Katherine Schwarzenegger, on Instagram. And I was like, oh, is there? I mean, I read it and I was like, I kind of see what they're talking about. And literally, I never identify with the mob. But now I'm like, oh, huh. And I asked myself, if my husband, the father of my children, posted this about me, would I think this was great? Is it just ducky? Or is this actually like kind of a weird neg and a very chilling glimpse into his psychology? We're going to break it down. I'm going to correct the Instagram caption for him. Tell him what he should have posted. Just a little, I'm going to get up my red pen. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to make our man more thoughtful. Do you have a relationship where you're not really getting great gifts? Okay, well, holiday is coming up. And if we don't want another like fucking heart-shaped bag of shit from Kay Jeweler, sorry, don't sue me, Kay, but like, come on. And we want something that's a little bit more about us, something a little bit more thoughtful. How can we do that without actually making things worse? Because a lot of time giving feedback to a guy can actually make things worse because that's how they are. We're going to give some actual tips to give him feedback that is going to make him want to do thoughtful things rather than driving him in the opposite direction. Because a lot of times what we think of as very constructive feedback is actually incredibly repellent and sows a lot of seeds of resentment. So we're going to get into it. Before we do, just want to remind you, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, head over to my website, shallonlester.com. You can get an Instagram review, submit a question, or click our new ASAP option. I get back to you in just 24 hours. Ditto on Cameo. If you want a little video shout out for a friend, a birthday wish, a pep talk for yourself, go ahead and head over there. You can also select 24-hour delivery for that. And you guys always ask, or not always, but recently you've been asking about my lip color. So instead of writing it in a million comments, this isn't an ad. These are just things that I'm using. They're the Maybelline Super Stay ink crayons. I have them in like every color. I think they're like $10 each. Yeah, they're just like kind of a matte, not super matte. And I layer over it. This one, okay, the one I'm wearing now is called Rise to the Top. It's this color. It looks a lot darker than it comes out. And I layer it with Girlactic lip gloss in Glow because I didn't really have something that actually perfectly matched that. So there you go. Oh, and I got bangs. And I'm sorry I wear this top a lot, but you know how I am. You know, I have that one dress over the summer. You just get in a rut and you're just like, I know, I'm sorry, all right? Not sorry enough to stop doing it, just sorry. So let's see what he actually posted that's like causing an uproar. Okay, so first of all, his Instagram name is Pratt. Okay. And it's his picture of Katherine, who is a Schwarzenegger, as in Maria Shriver. And is she an Arnold Schwarzenegger? She's Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid, right? Yeah. Imagine that, having that dude as a father-in-law. Fuck. And therefore, Maria Shriver is a Kennedy. Therefore, this woman is a Kennedy. Chris Pratt married a fucking Kennedy. You put some respect in your mouth. He said, guys, for real, I'm trying to do it in his like fratty voice. Look how she's looking at me. I mean, find you somebody that looks at you like that. You know, we met in church. She's given me an amazing life, a gorgeous, healthy daughter. She chews so loudly that sometimes I put in my earbuds to drown it out, but that's love. She helps me with everything. In return, periodically, I open a jar of pickles. That's the trade. Her heart is pure and it belongs to me. My greatest treasure, right next to my Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card, which, if you know, is saying a lot. It's her birthday in about 6 weeks, so if I don't get her anything, I'll tell her to look back on this post. Love you, honey. Let's unpack this. We met in church. You met in church when you were married, so why don't you take a seat? Take a pew. She's given me an amazing life, a gorgeous, healthy daughter. So some people are saying this is a dig at his son who was born premature and is like sort of handicapped. I don't really know what his malady is, but some people are like, oh, it's a neg to his son. Listen, you can compliment one person without it being an insult to someone else. You know, like, oh, you look so pretty today. Well, I guess I look ugly. Like, shut the fuck up, Belinda. This isn't about you. But people are saying that's okay. Also, he has pronoun confusion. A gorgeous, healthy daughter. She chews so loudly. She grammatically is clearly referring to the daughter. It's not. He's meaning the wife. But in terms of grammar, so this fucked me up. I was like, the daughter chews loudly. What are you talking? She probably didn't have any teeth. She has one. She helps me with everything. In return, I open a jar of pickles. Okay. I guess that's his attempt at a joke. I've never found him very funny. That's the trade. Her heart is pure and it belongs to me. Let me correct that. Her heart is pure and I am so lucky that she chose me for her life partner. Oh, that's better, right? My greatest treasure right next to some baseball card. This is where people took umbrage. So someone said, they're like, okay, so she's your greatest treasure and then your baseball card, like where does your handicapped son fall in the line of like healthy baby, Kennedy wife, baseball card of some dude, son, somewhere in there. But people were like, so she's a possession on par with a baseball card. She's an item. She's a thing you have collected and acquired, and she belongs to you. It's her birthday in 6 weeks, so if I don't get her anything, I'll tell her to look back on this post. Bro, that's where you lost me. If I don't get you anything, look, I'm still a good guy because I wish you happy birthday 6 weeks early. I don't want your bitch ass 6 week early birthday wish. Like, I want it the day fucking of. I want flowers, Cartier. Like, this woman is a Kennedy. A Kennedy. So this whole thing seemed, people were saying, it's both like, it's a neg. It's like one giant neg. It's sloppy. It's not romantic. It's not thoughtful. It's more about him than it is about her. Like, she has a pure heart. Like, okay, what else does she do? Are you proud of her accomplishments? It just seemed very like him focused. Like, I love you for what you do for me. And here's how you relate to me. A lot of people give compliments like that. And I've been guilty of it too, you know, and I'll mean something in a very pure way. You know, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's like, I love what a great listener you are. And I love how you know, I so appreciate how you helped me through this thing. And it's like, I go back and I'm like, I don't mean to make, it's like, thank you for existing to serve me. I say it more like, you have impacted my life. And I'm so grateful you're in my life because you make such a difference. And I value you so much. It comes down to value. I value you so much. And I'm pretty good with words and I can make some mistakes. This guy seems, I don't know, like the least rapey dude in Sigma Chi. I don't know, like, I don't know what to tell you. So here's the tea with his first relationship, his first marriage to Anna Faris. Chris is funny. Anna's funny. And so they were in this constant dick measuring competition with each other. Like people, and I knew people who knew them, they're like, we would go to parties or something with them. And it was so uncomfortable because they always were going for the joke with each other. They were so competitive about being funny. And it was just like, that's funny. That's funny too. That's funny. I gotta go get some more alcohol. Like it was very like tiring for people to be around. And oh my God, can you imagine being in that relationship? And then things took a turn when their son Jack was born. He came very premature. I was in the NICU for a long time. And apparently Chris got very religious. Like I think he was always kind of religious. You know, it's religion in dudes. It's like this latent cell. It's like the sleeper cell. Like they might be raised religious and then they like become teenagers, young men, like, who's Jesus? What? And then it like lays dormant until they have kids. And suddenly it's like, if our son doesn't go to Christian school, and you're like, where did this come from? Huh? Right? But fatherhood changes men. And because men are not as good as us, they don't think about this possibility of changing them until it actually happens. And you're like, I thought you weren't really that Jewish. And now, like, if our daughter's not bat mitzvahed, like, you're going to tear your hair out? Where did this come from? Okay. So he got super religious. And as one could reasonably expect, having a child that nearly dies. You're looking for some higher power. I think he's Catholic because the Kennedys are Catholic. And what is with Catholics and Protestants not getting along? I listen to a ton of like historical podcasts. Noble Blood is amazing, but I'm like such a weird Noble Blood stan, and poor Dana Schwartz is like enough. I think she's over me. But yeah, it's like Catholics and Protestants are like setting each other on fire. It's like, bro, it's like literally basically the same. And I know I'm like, it's not the same. As someone on the outside, like it's kind of the same, like same big, the Jesus and the Mary. And it's not like Muslims and Jews, you know, you're like, those are very different religion. Anyway, I digress. So Anna did not share in his newfound religious zeal. And when you have someone who is already competitive with you and now they're like celestially competitive, like not only am I funnier than you, you're actually probably going to hell. Okay, that can be tough. And Anna Faris has sort of intimated in other interviews that like she felt like she had to be a little bit submissive to him, either because of ego or his patriarchal ideas or whatever. And when we look at this Instagram through that filter, you're like, I can kind of see that, right? Now, maybe that works for him and Catherine. And I don't think we as a society need to police compliments, you know? Like what you find as a compliment is absolutely valid. We talked about this actually last year when we talked about Adele's weight loss, that like, if you want to be skinny, bitch, be skinny. Like that is your right. And if you want to be told you look so thin, you're almost ready for an intervention. You're like, really? If that's your own toxic thing that you like, great. You don't need to apologize. No one else has the right to weigh in on it. It's your ego that's getting stroked the way you want it to be stroked. Different strokes for different folks. So maybe Catherine thought this was like delightful. I think the rest of us are a little like, ugh. And like I said, if I had a boyfriend post that, I'd be like, I chew too loudly. I'm a proud, ego-driven creature. Surprise. I don't like a neg. I don't like a tease, a backhanded compliment. I don't like to be made fun of at all. Not at all. Oh, Shallon, she's like so ugly in the morning. The fuck did you say? Like, I'm like a peacock. And peacocks are quite nasty. They're beautiful, but like absolute maniacs. So I realize this kind of looks like a peacock in the background. So what if you're dealing with a Chris Pratt who posted something like this, probably with pure intentions, thinking, oh my God, this is great. Remember that everyone is gift giving, complimenting, doing altruistic gestures through their own filter. So we talk about love languages a lot, and there's 5. We have words of affirmation, compliments, right? Gift giving, acts of service, physical touch. Do we say quality time? I don't know. 5 is too high for me to count. So we as people, it's very important to identify your partner's love language, because whatever our love languages are, we kind of assume that, well, everyone's probably like, I mean, who doesn't like gifts? Who doesn't want physical affection? Who doesn't want an act of service? Well, for some people, some of those things just aren't important, right? For me, physical touch is like not actually huge. It is actually very, very big to most dudes, which is why dudes don't do well with long distance relationships. We're so much more cerebral. Like we need the good morning, beautiful text, and we need the FaceTime. We need to feel emotionally connected. Guys need to fuck. Like they need to like physically touch their woman to know she belongs to them. It's like this caveman thing. So dudes are very into physical touch, right? Women more are into acts of service. That is my primary love language. Like, well, compliments. But acts of service, you know, oh my God, he like changed the filter in my air conditioner. I could never do that. He saved me so much time, so much money. I was angsting about it. I really appreciate that. I think women very much like acts of service because there's a lot of acts we cannot do for ourselves. I mean, we can, but like, how do you use a drill? What's a drill bit? I don't even want to know. Okay. No. So it's based on like what we need down deep. But remember, that we tend to give other people what our love language is. I'm very complimentary to the guys I date. And that can work against me because they can be like, damn, she's obsessed with me. No, I'm not. I'm literally just, I'm speaking to you how I want to be spoken to, practicing the golden rule. Treat others as you yourself would like to be treated, right? Acts of service. I come over, I change a guy's sheets, I get all his bedding ready. You know, like I've done that for every boy I've ever seriously dated. I've completely glowed up his bedding. And some guys were like, what did you do? I'm like, I thought you'd like nice sheets and a new duvet. And they're like, oh, so my other bed wasn't good enough? I'm like, oh, for Christ's fucking sakes, right? When we do something for someone else and they react that way, it's a poke to our emotional underbelly. Because when we do something nice, we're putting ourselves out there. We're showing our vulnerability. We're taking some sort of emotional risk. And when someone turns around and is like, this isn't my color. You know, you should know I don't like this. Okay. Have you ever like saved a lot to give someone a gift? I gave my mom a YSL purse last year. And it was like a no reason gift. It was like, I just want you to have this beautiful YSL purse. And she's like, oh. I'm like, Mom, it's Saint Laurent. She's like, yeah, it's pretty. I'm like, you don't like it, do you? She's like, it just doesn't have enough zippers. I said, zippers? No, it doesn't have zippers. Like all over, like this purse from like Target you've been carrying. Like, no, it doesn't. She's like, well, it doesn't have like an exterior pocket. Like, it's not a diaper bag. You can hear what I'm talking about. I'm still really butthurt about it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy you another nice bag then. I was going to get you a Gucci bag. No, you're just going to be like, it's fine. But it's hurtful. And even if people don't mean it to be, like she was giving me legit feedback and she's like, I don't want you spending your money on something like this if I'm not going to be obsessed with it. But from my point of view, it's like, why aren't you obsessed with it? Right? I would be. That's a gift I would enjoy. I'd go berserk if someone gave me a YSL bag. I got to buy them from a damn self. That's fine. But it just goes to show that gift giving and compliments and that kind of thing is sensitive for both parties. Because when we receive a gift that like doesn't land, you're like, do you even know me? One ex-boyfriend gave me olive oil for Christmas. I don't even cook. I'm Italian and I like olive oil, but he gave me like 3 big bottles and I'm like, and like 2 weeks after Christmas. Do you know me? I'm a pretty easy person to buy gifts for and you've fucking blown it. Like I love candles and pillows and basic bitch shit. And like, I get oil. Got it. So it's sensitive. Why am I saying that? Because if we come at our partner sideways about all the things they're not doing, they're gonna be like, I'm not even gonna try. What did I say about my mom and the purse? Fine, I'm not buying you any purse. I'm not feeling this way again. I'm not spending this money and getting excited to see your face when you open it. And you're like, oh, like I gave you some Kipling bag with that dumb monkey on it. Give me a break. So we have to tread lightly. And I know. When someone gets you, someone you love, a boy, when a guy gets you a shitty gift and blows it, the last thing you want to do is tiptoe around his ego. You're hurt. Why do you have to tiptoe around his ego? It goes back to, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Are you after peace or victory? Well, I know, girl, believe me, I get it. But in my life, I'm learning to think long-term. I'm learning to think strategically. It's like, okay, what do I really want? To just scream at this dude about olive oil right now? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Or do I want to build a better mousetrap? Do I want to build a better boyfriend? Let's go to Build-A-Boy. What do I want to ultimately get? I want to get gifts that are thoughtful. I want a man who's listening to me. So in the moment is not the time to say it. I hate it. Not the time. What we are going to do is instead focus on what he did right. Oof, I know. Listen, I'm not saying this isn't going to be a frustrating process. I'm saying that the payoff is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it, right? First of all, you got to find out what his love language is because that's going to explain a whole lot. If his love language is acts of service and he gives you a drill and he's like, I'm going to teach you how to use it. And you're like, I don't want to know how to use it. And he's like, no, but I'm helping you do things for yourself. Is that not what? Or if he's like, I gave you a masseuse and you're like, I don't really like to be touched. Right? hone in on his love language and communicate yours. Use this video as an example. Oh my God, you see what Chris Pratt posted? So Shallon, this YouTuber I follow, she's super gorgeous. She just got bangs. And while some people look stupid in bangs, she actually looks fantastic. She looks like Jennifer Lopez, actually. Jennifer Lopez, aka Shallon Lester, did a video on love languages, and here's mine, blah, blah, blah. You're welcome. So it's an easy kind of way to bring it up. And then you can say, okay, so babe, your love language is like physical touch. Okay, so what's like the ideal gift? You're just spitballing here, just talking over extreme jalapeno poppers and margs, right? And he's like, well, obviously a threesome. You're like, try again. And get down to it. It's like physical touch. Maybe it's quality time. So it's not something he's going to unwrap. It's you go on that road trip to Zion National Park together. Okay. He just wants to hang out with you when you're not on your phone. You're not complaining about work. Really try to get that. And then you disseminate your ideals. And you can say stuff like, I always start start small and then we escalate. I don't start with a Cartier bracelet, even though that is literally my only love language is Cartier. Starts and ends there. It's like, you know what? The best gifts, they truly are the ones that are based in thoughtfulness, and I think girls give a lot of hints about what they like and what they don't like. And, when I receive a gift, it's not the physical gift that I get jazzed about. I mean, it is. But I get so excited thinking about my friend picking it out, thinking about my friend thinking about me. Like, oh, I saw this and Shallon would love that. I'm getting her packing cubes embroidered with XO because she travels and that's her whole thing. Like, that's so thoughtful to me. It touches my heart and my mind and also my suitcase. It's also something really cool. Then this is where the lie comes in. This is where you have to start to lie. Okay, so buckle up. To be like, babe, when you gave me that olive oil, it was so thoughtful because I'm Italian and this is like the language of my people. I'll sing the song of my people. It is olive oil. That was so cute. I will say, however, as much as I like it, I don't really cook. So, we'll find something to do with it. But, I think maybe like next birthday, because I do love Italy, but I'm also French. You know what else is French? Cartier. So you're validating what he did. You're acting like you like it, but you're also, here's how to build on that. What I actually really liked about it is not the olive oil. I loved the thought behind it. I loved the observance. You were paying attention to me. You know I'm Italian. You fucking should know I'm Italian. We've been together for 2 years. Io parlo italiano. Basta così. Maledizione. Anyway, you should also know that I'm French, and you should also know that I like Cardi. So we're kind of padding. We're taking the long way around, and then we're making him think like something is his idea. Another good way to do this is to use other people as an example. But hold on, this is a slippery slope. This can easily go bad, so you got to be real careful. Joel did something for Alexis for her birthday. She came home, the entire house was cleaned. And you can tell the story like, that's so thoughtful. It doesn't seem like, oh, it's this big like special birthday gift, but think about it. It would take her 5 hours to clean the house or like $300 to have it cleaned. And instead, like they got to have a fun date night on the couch in this beautiful clean house. Like that's so sweet and so thoughtful, don't you think? Now look, you can't say maybe you might even have to walk it back because you don't want to make it seem like you're admiring another man over him. Would you want it the other way around? Oh yeah, like Alexis wore this really slutty lingerie for Joel. And like, that's just so hot. Like she's all dressed up in this lingerie. You'd be like, say less. Or keep talking. I've got a shovel and a 45. No one will miss you. What's that from? So you have to temper it like, hey, that really made Alexis feel good. And that was a great gift because X, Y, and Z. Oh, that's really cool. Not in this aggrandizing way for the other dude. Plant seeds. But also, guys aren't great at hints. They're just not. So if Christmas is coming up, which it is, or your birthday or something like that, and you want something specific, be like, honey, I would love it if you had the house cleaned before the in-laws get here. That would just like, I don't need anything to unwrap. Don't say that because yes, you do. But like, that would just mean so much to me. And he might go like, really? Explain why. Yeah, because you know what? I'm the only one that cleans the house a lot of times. Like, and I'm just sick of it. And it would honestly, it would show me that you appreciate it and that like, or maybe you clean it and you can see how long it fucking takes me, you know? Explain to someone why something's meaningful, because when someone is giving a gift, they want to know why you're gonna like it, right? Now look, if you have done this a bunch and nothing's changing, again, you don't want to shit on someone who might be doing their best in terms of gift giving, but if they're not doing anything at all, you got a problem. And that's where this Chris Pratt caption pissed me off. It's like, if I forget to get you something, why the fuck would you forget? How many wives you have? You're also rich. You probably have an assistant. Go to Cartier, pick up 5 things, send me the bill. You know? Somebody said the other day, we were talking about one of our friends' boyfriends who's just, he is not thoughtful. He is not into her. I mean, he's so mean to our friend and it's painful to watch. And yet if we say anything bad, like she's defensive and I'm like, okay, dude, like I can't pretend that I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. And our other mutual friend was like, we just need to like teach Chris how to treat her. Like, just tell him to be more thoughtful. Be like, hey, maybe you should go get her flowers. And I'm like, he knows. He knows. He watches TV. He's on social media. He's a human who exists in the world. He knows flowers exist. He knows flowers and candy are the typical male-female trope. He knows birthdays come with gifts because his always do. He knows what Valentine's Day is, what Christmas is. He's not doing these things because he doesn't want to. It is a form of passive aggression. There's something called representational violence. Like people who are, before they often start to hit a woman, they'll like tear up her picture. You and I at Disney World, rah. They'll cut up her clothes. Things that represent her, they will purposely destroy. Sometimes this can escalate to a really bad place. They'll hurt the animal because they know that she loves the animal and hurting the animal will hurt her. I'm not saying that an unthoughtful dude will end up hurting you or your dog, Noodles, but I consider it almost a form of representational violence. It's like, that this is going to hurt her to withhold this, or like you're rude to her friends when they come over because she loves your friends, so you're going to be mean to them. I think it's all part and parcel, not of an abusive dynamic, but just a shitty one. Just a guy who is just kind of turning the screws, who gets off on you not being happy, on keeping you just a little small. Just a little small, right? Maybe it's because he doesn't want to be in this relationship. Maybe it's because he's incapable of love. I don't care. It doesn't matter. If you've communicated what you need and someone keeps doing the opposite, they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. Like, you got to walk in the light of the truth on that. If someone came to you and was like, hey, when you do X, Y, and Z, it hurts my feelings. When you don't even get me a card on my birthday, I don't feel like you love me. And would you not be horrified? Be like, I don't want you to feel that way. I do love you. I'm going to do something. Let me demonstrate. How can I prove to you that, right? But if you don't love them, you'd be like if someone on the street said that to you, it's like, it's my birthday today. Why didn't you do anything? You'd be like, who the hell are you? Get away from me. Or a friend that you're not really that into. And sometimes that is the writing on the wall. The people aren't thoughtful, not because they don't know how and no one's ever taught them. What are you, a rehab for broken men? I'm not. If a man doesn't know how to make a woman happy, Cartier does. So be honest with yourself about how much you've tried. What else might be going on in the relationship? Is he not only not thoughtful on like birthdays and holidays, but kind of all the way around? He lets you do all the dishes. Oh, you can pay for half of this. Is this just part and parcel of his overall pathology? If it is, there's no amount of Cartier, there's no amount of Instagram captions that's going to change that. The thing that changes has got to be you getting the hell out of there. I want to know your thoughts. Do you think this was like a cute thing, or is it like kind of cringe? Is it kind of cringe, just like kind of bad? Or is it like, that's bad, dude? What is the most thoughtful or thoughtless thing a guy has done for you? My ex-husband will tell you the most thoughtful. I was flying to Spain to go to Ibiza for a press trip. And I was like, I just wish I could watch the Golden Girls the whole way there. But like this, they like weren't on Hulu or anything like that. And I wasn't going to have reception, over the ocean. And so he bought this like incredibly high powered USB drive. He was like a computer guy, and put every single episode like remastered them all, got them from the dark web, every single episode of the Golden Girls ever, and put it on a jump drive for me. I thought that because he knew that was important to me. If someone's like, oh, my boyfriend got me a jump drive, I'd be like, okay. But like that was fulfilling a need. It was so thoughtful. It was something I had said kind of offhand that he took and ran with. He did a million thoughtful things. So glad I torpedoed that relationship. Great job. But I'm here so you guys can learn from my mistakes and not your own. I'll see you later, Shalligators. We'll be back next time.